Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Aussie Starcraft as we reach game number 4 in this best of 5 series between Aces Bly in the top right hand corner of Derelict Watcher. In the bottom left we have a challenger LiquidTLO currently with 2-1 advantage in this best of 5 series. Match point for TLO. If he can take it here, he will take the set and the money. So TLO is our challenger, doing a great job of upsetting Bly, our reigning King of the Hill, champion, conqueror over Tefl. And we'll see what happens here in game number 4. Bly's hitherto been very resilient, able to wrest himself back from this position against Tefl, so we'll see if he can do likewise here, or whether he'll go down to TLO's relentless tech switches and changes. TLO electing to do something different in every game. Game 1 Roach Hydra, game 2 was quite heavy Infestor Roach, game 3 we saw a little bit more of the Infestors, but this time it was the Zergling counterattacks that do the damage. So I think one of TLO's greatest gifts is his diversity and ability to think on his feet, so he's always able to tailor his strategy to the map, whereas I feel he's got that edge over Bly because Bly has been in the position of going a similar route in every game. Always goes for a pattern, times his gas with his pool to finish up, gets a few Zerglings out, in due course goes Mutalisk, goes from Mutalisk to Broodlords. We saw it a couple of times against Tefl and against TLO in the previous game. Sometimes goes for the Roach Sledgehammer, but really doesn't seem to be being quite as diverse as he could possibly be. That's possibly part to do with the matchup as well. The metagame in ZvZ does quite heavily determine what these players can go for, but I can't help but feel we've seen a much more diverse range of strategies from TLO, so it's a very different story, one-off games on the ladder as opposed to a series of games where your opponent can adapt to your moves and meet them head-on in later games. So can't just rely on the same old one-trick horse to get you through. So we'll see how that comes into play in this game number 4. If I'm sounding a little bit tired, guys, I apologise. I have been doing quite a lot of casting today. I've cast quite a large, well, I've streamed quite a bit of XCOM Enemy Within, a game that I picked up this week when it was released. I love the series, and I'm doing a Let's Play, so you'll see that in the Let's Play section down below. It'll join the Civ 5 Let's Play that we were doing recently. We will continue that in due course, but I gotta say, gotta play it while it's hot, and Enemy Within's brand new, so gonna be playing a little bit of it for the foreseeable future in between Starcraft and casting and all those other things. Now I've streamed, not streamed, sorry, I've cast or planned to cast this entire series. So however many games it is, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we know it's going to likely be somewhere between 4 and 5 from where we are in the series. I will cast the entire series and upload it all to the channel, so you're going to get 5 videos worth of goodness over the next few hours as they upload. But I will be away for the next 2 days, so won't have any new content while I'm away. It's my anniversary, and my wife will expect my undivided attention, so I'll be celebrating and spending a bit of time at the beach. And so I'll leave you guys with plenty of StarCraft content here to enjoy. So you'll have had 9 or 10 Zerg vs Zerg games, so you can go crazy with those, or you can mine through the other content that we've uploaded recently. So, and you'll also have that Enemy Within Let's Play that's going as well. So plenty of content. If you can hold tight till Tuesday, we'll have some more going for you. Promise we'll bring you some great TVP or maybe even a PvP matchup, depending. I just feel like Protoss get neglected on my channel. I'm not sure why that is. I love Protoss. I actually play them as my main race. Perhaps that's why I watch so many other matchups, is I tend to play a lot of the matchups as Protoss. But we'll make sure we rectify that. We've got some good MC games and some others. I wanted to get my hands on the replay pack from BlizzCon, as a lot of you'll know. had a lot of great Protoss at BlizzCon, and some excellent games there, so I'm not going to spoil those at all. Going to save those for when we see them, and hopefully those replay packs will be out by the time I get home and can bring you some great games. But LiquidTLO, for once in this series, has thrown down his third before Bly. Bly morphing in his banelings, 7 banelings on the way. But these could well be defensive banelings, not a lot of Zerglings sort of swirl to go with this. LiquidTLO, quite a few Zerglings of his own. Spire is on its way for Bly. Lair still finishing up for LiquidTLO, though we do now have the Spire coming down, so we may well see Mutalisk out of LiquidTLO here, and I imagine with his third base timing he's going to know. Oh, he's actually hidden 2 banelings over here, so it'll be interesting to see if he can sneak these into a worker line in the not too distant future. Able to cancel that, force that cancel, and the drone's going to make itself into an extractor to try and save itself. Queen's trying to mop up overlords here. They have LiquidTLO trying to pick off these banelings as best he can. Bly really needs to get this third base down. If this third base of LiquidTLO survives, this could be we could see the Muta race decisively going to LiquidTLO. LiquidTLO able to pick off another baneling for free there with the Queen. Great moves from LiquidTLO. I don't know how many banelings the Queen sniped. I think it was 3. So able to save countless Zerglings from explosive, corrosive, acid death of doom. Death of doom. That doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean. Save them from a terrible baneling death, though Bly, number of Zerglings here, is going to be able to prevent this base from staying for very long. The third base was picked off. That's going to take it back to a 2 base. We see those banelings of LiquidTLO must have been used in the excitement. We have banelings and Zerglings here trading forces quite heavily. LiquidTLO a few banelings in the middle of the map. We also have some Zerglings trying to counterattack. So how many workers did he manage to clean out? That 22 workers killed. So obviously Bly focusing in the middle of the map. LiquidTLO may have just gotten a massive economic edge. The mutas are on the field, but do we have it? No, we don't actually have any static defense on the way. So LiquidTLO going to be busy waiting for his own mutas to pop. 5 more to come. Bly taking a moment to pick off these mutalisks, but LiquidTLO can probably get a favourable engagement with a Queen or 2 here. So we'll see what happens. LiquidTLO still needing a few spore crawlers in his main base, but LiquidTLO continuing to be irritating with his workers, streaking through. He had a grand total of 30 workers killed by LiquidTLO, so just great focus with those Zergling counterattacks, just pinpoint precision. If we check out the APM of these 2 players, we can see relatively even. LiquidTLO 180 to 140, but you know, APM's not everything, but it's always impressive when you see these players spike up to 2 or 3 or even 400 APM as they carefully engage in 2 or 3 sections of the map. Zergling counterattacks while you're trying to micro your mutas and other things around the map can just really great showcase of ability to focus and multitask. Do we have Burrow? No, Burrow's not done. Thought he might have been trying to hide those Zerglings in the corner. These mutalisks are going to move out across the map. Will he... Oh, there's a reinforcing muta that's been left behind. LiquidTLO picking off a few more workers there. 34 workers killed to 9. Wow, I'm losing my voice from this series. Too epic. Been talking way too much today. But LiquidTLO with quite a significant muta advantage. It's 18 to 11, trying to pull back into the safety of his other mutas. Get these joined up, and gonna lose another overlord there. 1 second while I get a drink. Sorry guys, I just completely lost my voice for a minute there. LiquidTLO continuing to pick off worker after worker with these drones. He's gotten up to 37, so continuing to pick away there. We got both players going for the Mutalisk swarm. 19 from LiquidTLO. Still, both players still on 2 base, unable to secure a third. And I think with the way the game's going, this may stay this way, unless of course LiquidTLO can can get up this third and keep it. He has scouted out, knows that his base is down ahead of Bly's third. He does know he's done significant economic advantage. We have 16 to 19 mutas on the field. If we look at the upgrades tab, it is 1 armor for TLO. If you're wondering why he went armor over weapons, it's generally good for the glaive, which bounces the Mutalisk attack between targets. By upgrading the armor, he really negates the amount of damage each of those Mutalisks will do. TLO continuing to produce mutas, so a slight edge on the muta count. His own base almost down. He's got his gas mining now, so able to contain Bly, and Bly's in trouble if he doesn't break out and get a third down. TLO is just going to be able to certainly outproduce his Mutalisk count, and unfortunately for Bly, the amount of workers he's lost is sort of doesn't allow him to throw down as much static anti-Mutalisk defense as he'd like. So in a bit of a difficult position here, but we'll see what Bly can make of it. We've certainly seen some great comebacks out of him so far. So, oh, TLO with lots of Zerglings under the mutas. These will soak up a few extra glaive hits. +1 attack on the way for both these players. TLO is about 30 seconds ahead, so there'll be a little window of opportunity he can exploit. I think we may see him engage right as that finishes. So, or maybe not, throwing down the infestation pit. Maybe he wants to wait for a few infestors to get the edge in that fight. Massive Mutalisk cloud out of both these players. 25 and 28 Mutalisks respectively. They may well see it develop into a base race, and we'll see. I think TLO may have the edge there just by the sheer well, it's not that much static defense, I guess, but still a few pieces of it here and there around the field. Bly, as of yet, unable to throw anything down, which is probably why he's suffered so much from those counter-attacks. He's lost quite heavily to the Zergling Rumbyes, and you can see workers killed 37 to 12. TLO's just done a great job with those persistent Zergling counterattacks, and even now you can see him already moving his Zerglings out across the map. He knows where this Mutalisk cloud is. He did lose a muta to find it, but he knows when he can and can't move these Zerglings out. He knows the fight's coming. Zerglings are going to hide underneath to absorb the glaives, and we'll see what TLO makes of this. Infestation pit's almost done now. Well, almost done with pathogen glands. 7 infestors, big engagement here, but pinned between these spore crawlers. Gonna be hard. We're going to go to the unit tab just so we can keep track of these Mutalisk numbers. 29 to 24, he really has to micro very carefully. Every shot of these spore crawlers is virtually going to kill a muta. 28 to 24, we had 7 infestors about to pop, and they are out with pathogen glands, so enough for a fungal. And I think TLO can shut this out. His Zergling Rumby is continuing to do work. No more workers killed, but able to put some pressure on this third base. I think TLO is in a position where he can move out. If he had just a little bit more static defense at home, particularly, he could move out with not ease, because this is a lot of Mutalisks. It can pick off even some static defense, but with the pressure that TLO can afford to put on with these Zergling Muta Infestor, I think Bly's in a tough position. Both TLO taking a 4th base right towards his opponent, and ASO's Bly continuing to try and expand here to meet TLO head on, but a massive supply advantage for TLO. It's 174 to 138 supply. Those Zergling Rumby are starting to really make the money's worth for TLO. Bly being economically rather far behind. Have these spore crawlers continuing to go up. That will give. I thought that might have been TLO at it. I thought, where are these spore crawlers from Bly? There's TLO bringing up his own spore crawlers. Bring his own spore crawlers to fight. Few infested Terrans. He's throwing the gauntlet down. If he can gun his way through this, he's going to be able to safely engage and cut off this third base. Just such sneaky play. Who would walk their spore crawlers across the map and park them on the enemy creep? only TLO. I've not seen anyone else do that. I'm sure somebody's probably done it, but it's just these little things TLO does to give himself an edge that just makes him so fun to watch. So parking these, it's going to make it very difficult for the muters to actually reinforce. As they fly across, they're going to take some damage, and this third base is going to go down. There's way too many mutalists just going to gun their way down. Bly going for the base race now, knows his third's down, knows the game's up, time to fight, throws down static defense and goes for the base race. Can he do this with the muters? TLO needs to throw down a bit more static div of his own. So he's certainly has the capacity to do massive damage with his counterattacks. Knows he can just leave this as it's almost mined out. All he needs to do is preserve his own base, throwing down his third base again in spite of the fact that the muta's still there. Can he get an infestor here to fungal? We have the units tab, we have 30 mutalists to 19. TLO clearly got the edge here in both upgrades and muta count, trying to get a good angle with these infestors. Oh, nice, manages to pick up 5 mutalists there, a big pickup. Cloud's 30 to 11, and not sure what Bly can do here. Big circling run bys in both the main and natural, and that's going to be it. So TLO able to take this series 3-1 and knock our defender Asa Bly off the hill and take his position as the rightful king. So not the first time that TLO has played in or won the Kaspersky Arena, but certainly fun to watch him do it this time. Some epic Zerg vs Zerg action. Hope you guys got a few ideas for your own play out of that. I certainly did. I certainly enjoyed watching it. If you did enjoy it, go ahead and give us the old like down below. Even if you didn't like it, you know guys, give us the old like down below. Support us here at Aussie Starcraft, trying to cast and build up the esports following here in Southeast Asia, though you're definitely welcome to view us from anywhere in the world. So thanks guys, hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead and share us with your friends and family, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hope you guys enjoyed the series. Plenty more StarCraft on Tuesday when I get back. Hope you guys have a nice couple of days. I certainly will on the beach, and I'll see you when I get back. Have a good one guys, catch you later.